You feel what I'm saying? And the problem is once I finally tell the truth, completely, not the half truth.
It's pretty heavy stuff. You know, I think everybody at that time wanted to protect themselves.
So when we expected this turn of events the least, Raz B has emerged from nowhere, and folks, he's making headlines with a new drama that is about to hit another celebrity heavyweighter. So get this, he's finally ready to tell his story about the real treatment of young artists in Tinseltown. And he's putting Jay-Z and Ray J on blast, saying they allegedly threatened his life. Apparently, these two are covering for disgraced music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, saying every single of them have their own freak-off skeletons to hide. Now, you probably know Raz B has experienced the same. He spoke about Chris Stokes doing bad things to him as a child for a decade or something.
That's what cousins and stuff like, I get it, that's what they do, but I just didn't understand why that was happening at house.
Now it's getting even more serious, especially with Jay-Z's name in the mix. Apparently, there's some juicy new audio floating around where Jay-Z, Ray J, and Diddy are allegedly trying to shut Raz up. If Raz spills the tea, it could blow the whole thing wide open. Folks are already giving Jay the side, wondering if he's been involved in some shady business behind the scenes with his pal Diddy. It's only a matter of time before more bombs are dropped and it looks like Raz B is done keeping silent. But if you know a thing about him, he has been screaming at the top of his lungs about the dirt in the industry for years, but nobody believed him. It's like he was waving red flags, and everyone was just ignoring them way back in 2007. Raz first went public with this mess.
When you gonna do that though, Raz?
Well, I got another big interview coming up, so my next real big interview.
He dropped a YouTube video accusing his own cousin, Chris Stokes, who also happened to be his manager at the time. Raz claimed Chris was messing with him and his brother, Ricardo. Both of them were signed to Chris's label, and Raz said Chris was misusing his power to do some real nasty stuff to them. He later spilled that there were others who have been doing the same. He called out Marcus Houston too, saying, "Here it goes, truth. Mature grown DeMario after countless counseling. I was essayed by Bro Brother and others. They all used and essayed me like a rag doll. By the time my cousin took custody over me." So, when Raz began naming names, the whole industry started shaking. Those big shots, the so-called elites, were scared out of their minds that he might start exposing everyone. And let me tell you, they did not take kindly to that. At one point, Raz even went live on social media, panicking and begging for help. He was saying the police were at his door and he was afraid for his life, like they were there to make him disappear.
The police are at my door. They walk past my doorstep. I need help.
But even with his life being in danger, Raz didn't let go. He kept those allegations alive for over 10 years. That is, until last year when, out of nowhere, he suddenly took it all back, saying he was not my enemy. I focused all my pain, frustration, and anger built up from my past and took it out on my cousin, and I never understood why. People were speculating that some very powerful folks in the industry must have gotten to him because there was no other reason to back up. But we've already seen enough in the industry and know that such sudden changes don't happen on their own. Most people were convinced he was forced to take it back, maybe to keep himself alive.
It's kind of terrifying in today's time.
And also, Chris denied everything since the start, saying he was a family man and couldn't even think about such horrible things. He even called Raz B a liar and said he would be taking legal actions for these false accusations. And I'm not a child essayer, so those are all false allegations. I'm gonna sue them, and I owe that to my wife and kids, period. It's ridiculous. But we already got enough with all those monsters in the industry, and now when people revisit Raz B's claims, they demand justice for everyone who's been mistreated. As one person commented, the sad thing is that this young man has been crying out since a child, and he got no help, no sympathy. And another user added, sad that nobody understands this. People know sometimes. You all need to listen because it's real. And while it may look like a long-forgotten story, here's where the plot really thickens. Not long after all this mess, a video went viral of none other than Ray J calling up Raz B and telling him that Jays wanted him to backtrack on the Chris allegations.
Hey, Puffy, everybody, Jay-Z, everybody calling.
Done, I got you. I got you.
In that phone call, Ray J straight up told Raz that both Jay and Diddy had been blowing up his phone, demanding that he tell Raz to take everything back. And you know, Jay, Z, and Diddy, they both got serious power in the industry, and if they want to make your life a living hell, believe me, they can, and they will. For example, some insiders even claim that even behind the bars, Diddy's still dangerous. So, Raz was stuck between a rock and a hard place, and honestly, it's no surprise he backed down after that and took all his claims back. I mean, it's not like you can easily go up against Jay, Z, and Diddy and still keep your sanity, let alone your life. But it's 2024, and old wild lies are going to surface with long-forgotten proof.
I'll set the record straight. It's amazing how the media is trying to trying to tear the situation up because I never even said anything.
Ever since that allegation involving Ray J and that phone call hit the internet, people have been convinced that Jay-Z is deep in the mix with all this SA mess. And let's be real, when you start connecting the dots, it doesn't seem all that far-fetched. I mean, Jay was rubbing elbows with some of the biggest names in shady behavior, from the convinced predator Kelly, with whom Jay was collaborating and touring, so he probably seen everything Kelly was doing with girls, to Diddy and his infamous secret parties that Jay was attending to indulge into sick activities. So the idea that Jay is all innocent, nah, people are side-eyeing him hard right now. Turns out Jay has been moving in the industry in real similar ways to Diddy before all his skeletons came tumbling out of the closet. Like, there's been whispers for years that Jay was allegedly messing around with Foxy Brown when she was just 15 and he was just 15 and he was pushing 30. Word on the street is he tricked her into a relationship by dangling her career in front of her, promising to level her up.
You gotta realize, once again, rap is also a business now. It's a big business.
Sounds like the same thing Diddy was doing, play with his victim until he got tired and moved on. And after Jay-Z wanted Fozy no more, she got blackballed, like she was just another casualty of the industry. And recently, seeing how the might in industry are falling, she went online too to address the rumors. In a series of messages on her social media, she was finally revealing how she's had to stay quiet for years to survive. Sis literally said, "Ain't a meth alive could stop my story, ain't a meth alive could stop my story, nay am I gon' run 100 mil." And in the next message, she added, "My story will shock to your core. I don't play victim, but I had to step away from it, for my sanity, or I would have been unalived." And she has a good reason to say that. Remember the rumors about Jay allegedly being behind the demise of his pregnant mistress, Kathy White? Officially, they said she passed away from a brain aneurysm, but folks out here are not buying it. People are convinced she was taken out, just like many other folks who were too dangerous for Jay's reputation.
But, at the same time, that's what they do. That's how they move.
Jaguar Wright, who spent the last few years exposing all these sick monsters, recently, she made more claims about Jay and his menacing ways of doing business during an interview with Piers Morgan. And just to give you the idea of how really powerful Jay is, his lawyer contacted Morgan after that interview was aired and basically hinted that there would be consequences if he doesn't edit some parts of his show. Later, the host issued a public apology and removed all the controversial pieces from the episode. As some insiders claimed, the Carters sent him a message as not to mess up with them well. As to the Carters, I can tell you that when they put their foot down on something as they did here, they are sending a message. It looks like messing with the elites is still dangerous. And although the feds managed to get to Diddy, there are others like Jay who are way worse.
Carter is worse. He's smarter. He's patient.
But it may take years before Jay is brought to justice for everything he's done because these powerful folks are well protected. As one fan wrote, "Raz been screaming for years when people are telling us things we must start listening." And another user added, "At first people thought Raz B and other victims were lying. Post-Diddy arrest, now people are listening." Despite the cold months coming, the heat in Hollywood only grows. And it looks like Diddy won't be in jail alone. His sick friends and accomplices are coming to join him soon enough if more revelations like this surface. And what do you think about this, guys? Is Raz B telling the truth? Share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to check my other videos.